Hello everyone, I am Morden Kanan, and this is episode 5 of my Regrowth Let's Play series. Since last episode, I've done quite a bit. I bred a bunch more plants, I relocated the farms, set up a new area for growing trees and grass and such. I was also attacked by some endermen. As such, I got a couple of ender pearls, which will help us out a lot, and actually accomplished a quest. I also went down into those mines we found in the first episode for some more dirt, and in doing so I found some goodies and some essence berry bushes. Now, finding the essence berry bushes actually unlocked a hidden quest in the quest book. So we have an awful lot of quests to turn in. Looks like 28 of them. So that's going to generate a lot of rewards. We're going to need a place to put them. So I'm probably going to go to What the World Embraces here. I'm going to do this this Better Chest quest first, which will give us some space to store stuff. I've also rebuilt the destroyed house. I figured I'd move inside, stop hanging out in the yard. So I've moved my stuff in here and set up a little area for storing things and crafting and such. Moved all my tables up. So let's get started with building those chests. So to build a better chest, it's simply your frame material, whatever that's going to be. There's a lot of different recipes for chests. Right now I'm just going to use cobble, some oak planks, and some wool. Any color wool in the center, and then any kind of plank at the edges here. That's going to give you an improved chest, Mark 1. And these chests have the same storage as a normal chest, but they have the ability to keep them from linking up to the chest next to them or joined in the normal way. And let me turn in the quest for this and I'll demonstrate what I mean. So if I accept these chests, and I got 4 chests, so let me put one of these down. As you can see, same storage as a normal chest, and if I put them side by side, they link up like a normal chest. But if I pick one of those chests up and just put it in my crafting grid, notice that it says the chest is now alternate. So now if I put it next to an existing chest, they don't link. This allows you to put chests side by side. It's actually a nice little feature. I don't actually want them to be alternate right now. I just want them to link up. So I'm going to put these down. And now, let's start turning in some of these quests, because we got a lot of them. So as I said, I tangled with some endermen, so I'm gonna get the ender pearl from that. I also did essentia seeds and nature seeds. This is the hidden quest, which getting essence berry bushes triggers, and it gives you some good rewards if you find it, including armor. So let me just equip that armor. Iron armor early in the game. Not bad. And it gave me this this scroll. Let's see what that's all about. And doesn't appear to be doing much, but the armor may be hiding the effect or some such thing. And it gave me some more essence berry bushes, so let's go plant those. Essence berry bushes are the only Tinker's Construct bush that you're going to find in Regrowth. All the others are disabled. And they're a quick and easy way to get some XP. And let's stow some of the stuff we got here. And put away my pick for the time being. Alright, now, the other place where we have a bunch of quests to turn in is the plant breeding. As you can see, I've bred a lot of different plants. So I have pretty much completed the breeding of plants that I can do without using Botania. So we'll just go through these real quick. Vishrooms, grape seeds, strawberry, tomatoes, garlic, blueberry, wolfsbane, snowbell, artichoke, cotton, cactus, the various flowers, which are not terribly useful, but good for decorating the world once you are starting to rebuild it. So we'll just grab all of those. They can also be used for dyes, but there are better ways to get dyes, like dye essence. Then the mystical flowers. These will actually grow you Botania flower petals. And I can't claim that reward because my inventory is full. So let's dump this stuff in there. And there we go. So now I have claimed all of those rewards. And that puts us in a pretty good place. Now, the fact that we have wood and a lot of these plants now unlocks a lot of things that we can do for crafting. So let me get some of the materials for crafting together, and I will be right back. Alright everyone, I'm back, and let's see what the quest book says we need to craft. So starting in what the world came to be here, it wants us to craft magical fertilizer. This fertilizer can be used on the essence crops that you get through Botania. So it's like bone meal for speeding up the breeding and growth of all the crops you're pretty much going to be getting from now on. So that is crafted simply with floral fertilizer, mutandis, bone meal, and a couple of nature essence. That gives us 3 magical fertilizer. That's enough to complete that quest. I think I'm going to take mutandis since it's the most complicated to make, and that'll give me a little more of that magical fertilizer as well. The next thing I think I'm going to want to craft is my runic altar for doing Botania work. So to craft a runic altar you need a mana pearl. So I'm gonna head out here to the mana pool and just toss this mana pearl in, ender pearl in, and that's gonna give me my mana pearl that I need. And so now I should be able to make a runic altar, just a little living rock. Got a runic altar. Of course, you need a mana spreader to get mana into your runic altar. So I'm going to make one of those, and we'll go set this up. So I guess I'll put that here for now. And we're probably gonna immediately use that. So let me get these rewards, and I think I'm gonna make let's see, let's get ready for creating all of the resource seeds that are going to get us things like metals and things like that. So if we go over to what the world is made of here, the infusion quest wants us to create a weak infusion stone. So that is simply a mana pearl surrounded with essence dust. That gives us the weak infusion stone. This is used in crafting stronger essences. So if we go to our book, it wants us to create some weak essence. So to do that, we simply take our weak infusion stone, put 4 essences around it. That gives us a weak essence. Does not consume the infusion stone. If we look, we've completed this task. I'm going to pick the skeleton soul seeds. Always pick the skeleton soul seeds for this quest. The bone meal is just vital. You can breed them later, but it leaves you a long time where you're still struggling for bone meal. Now that we have these seeds, our bone meal needs are met forever. So I'm going to plant those right away. And just for the sake of argument, I'm going to use some of this magical fertilizer to get them full grown. So the next quest I want to do is ender seeds, because I want a good source of ender pearls. So to make ender seeds requires use of the runic altar, and it's going to require pretty much all the ender pearls we currently have, but that's okay because we'll be making more. So to start with, I need 2 mana pearls and 2 ender pearls. I need 4 weak essence, which I got from the quest to make the stone, and essence seeds. That's going to start the process. I need to go get my Wand of the Forest so that I can complete it. And every crafting that you do on the runic altar needs to be finished off with a piece of living rock. So those lightning bolts means it's done. Just click with the living rock, or right click with the living rock, and then right click with the wand. That's going to spit out whatever your end result is. That's these ender seeds. So again, we're going to immediately plant them. And then let's see, what do we want to do next? I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Had to take a little break. So looking at the book, let's claim the rewards for these ender seeds. I'm going to take the essence. I almost always take the essence from these crest rewards. They help get your next seed done quicker. I don't usually take whatever the product of the plant is, simply because you're going to be getting some from the plant. There are a couple of exceptions to this. We'll cover those when we get there. In any case, I think the next thing I'm going to want to do is this bound in print quest, which first thing wants an oak bookcase. So let's craft up one of those, which is just planks and some slabs. Get ourselves the oak bookcase. Next, it's going to want a bookbinder. Kind of a useful item. It allows you to carry around a bunch of books with you in a single slot. So we'll get the bookbinder here. And just to demonstrate what the bookbinder does, if I were to take, say, my Lexica Britannia here and just throw it on the ground and pick it up. Notice it's not in my inventory. Well, if I go to the bookbinder, there it is. It's inside the bookbinder, and I can open it from within the bookbinder. Good to have. Next, let's go claim this reward. That's going to give us a bunch of books, which are going to help us with the next few quests. But first off, we have a quest that wants us to get all of the Tinker's Constructs manuals. So those are pretty easy to craft. First and foremost, we already got one of them. So to duplicate this book, which is what you need for all the others, it's simply a piece of paper and a blank pattern. So I'm going to make all of these. Then I'm going to transform 4 of them into Materials in U Volume 2, 3 of them into Mighty Smelting, 1 of them into, or 2 of them into Tinker's Weaponry. That is going to complete this quest and open a new quest which just wants Diary of a Tinker, which can be obtained by taking one of these Tinker's Weaponries, putting them in there, and now that is done as well. And I should be able to just throw these on the ground and let my bookbinder pick them up. It appears there's a problem with the bookbinder that it's not picking them up. That's something that can be adjusted in the configs, and I'll probably do that in between episodes so that I don't have to carry around all of these books. But for the moment, we'll just stuff them in there. The next quest is to create some cartography tools, an empty map frame, drafting compass, and the map itself. So all of that is pretty straightforward. To make a map, you're just gonna do a pattern like this: ink sac, some paper, bang, empty map. To make your drafting compass, it is simply some flint tool rods made on your Tinker's Construct table, some sticks, and a piece of flint. Get a drafting compass. The empty map frame is simply an oak wood slab surrounded by sticks, and that's going to give you your map frame. So that should complete that task. It gives me some maps and some more books. The next one is to create the atlas. The atlas is actually kind of a cool book. It's what functions as your map in Regrowth. So to create the atlas, we're going to need to start by creating a slotted book. The slotted book is going to be an oak wood label, and one of these books will give us a slotted book. Then we're going to need some paper, our slotted book, a map, and the drafting compass, which will give us our atlas. If we look at the atlas, we can, if you just hold it, it does this. Open it up, we can put some blank maps in it and set any properties we want for the map it creates. And if I put a map over here, it is now going to turn on auto create. It is now going to build a map, and it can hold multiple maps and switch between them. So here's a little map of the area I'm in. You can see me up at the top there. So yeah, pretty cool. And as I said, that's kind of what functions as your map in Regrowth. There is no journey map or other mapping tool. Again, I'm going to store that inside my bookbinder. The next quest we should work on is on Herbology, which wants us to create the Witchcraft Herbology book. And that is simply a stick, an ink sac, a poppy, a dandelion, and a book. And I probably got something backwards here. Let's take a quick peek here. Yeah, like so. Get our Witchcraft Herbology book. This book just tells you about a lot of the different plants that are used in the witchery mod. Again, we'll just see that should go right in there. The next quest we're going to want to work on is back in What the World Embraces. We got a bunch of quests we can do in here, all related to storage. More storage is always good. So we did the better chests. Now it's going to teach us how to make upgrades for chests, both the better chests themselves and normal chests. So first thing you got to craft is you got to craft a basic upgrade. which is just a blank upgrade. Then you can take that upgrade and combine it with any chest, any better chest, like this guy right here, and that is going to give you a converter which can be used on a normal chest and convert it to a better chest. So let's take a look, and I think I'm going to want some converters to convert some of these chests I already have. Next quest is going to be making barrels. Barrels store a large quantity of a single item. They have some very cool upgrade ability to make them. It is oak logs, a chest, and a slab, and that gets you a better barrel. So we'll turn in this quest here. That's going to give us the tool needed to work with barrels and some of the upgrades for barrels. Next is going to come drawers. So drawers are crafted with a couple of chests and some oak planks. That's going to give us oak 1x2 drawers. There are other forms of drawers that have different recipes, but this is the one that the quest is looking for. And that's going to give us some 2x2 drawers. Drawers are similar to barrels, except that they can hold multiple items. They don't hold quite as much until they've been upgraded, but are very useful for automating things in the future. The next quest we're going to want to do is bags, which bags are a portable storage that you can carry around or just store things. Great for storing tools and things like that. And a bag is simply a chest for wool. The color of the wool determines the color of the bag, and then for string, which is going to give you a white bag, since I used white wool, and the reward for this is a lime bag. So if we take a look at the bags real quick here, you can see that they have an internal inventory which can hold things and only occupy one spot in your inventory. They can be upgraded to hold more in the future. Right now they don't hold much. Still useful though, still useful. The next thing is compartments. Compartments are a little odd. Let me make one and show you what I mean. So that's a book, 4 chests, 4 stone buttons. Gets us a compartment. So let me claim that reward, and then I'll show you what compartments are all about. So compartments are essentially like 4 chests in one. If I open it up, there are 4 areas. Each area is separate. So if I put an item in one, I can switch to the others. That item is not shown. It has a search functionality which will search through all of the items in it. You can rename these tabs and set an icon or a color to help identify what's in there. I believe that if you use pipes or other automation, they can only access the compartment associated with the side that you're piping into or out of. I don't use them often, but there are a few cases where they are useful. So when we encounter those, we'll take a look at those. So next on the agenda is let's see. Next on the agenda is probably back here in the way the world works. We have the Clayconia quest. The Clayconia is nice. It turns sand into clay. You will need some clay in the future, so having a way to get it that doesn't involve smashing grass is useful. So we're gonna craft up one of those, like well, it's actually not a crafting. We just turn in claim the reward. We get ourselves a Clayconia. Now the Clayconia is powered by mana, so it needs to be close to your mana pool, and it is going to consume some mana from it for every block that it converts. For the time being, I'm just going to put it over here. And those sparkles mean that it is working, and I actually just heard it convert some sand, so there must be some sand underground here that the Clayconia just converted into clay, which I think is kind of funny. Actually, and there it is. So, yeah. I was going to go get some sand to demonstrate, but it appears that well, I'm actually not seeing what it converted. That's I'm seeing marble, but I'm not seeing the clay that I just heard it convert. So, strange. Okay, well. There's a little dirt down there, but right now I'm not hurting for dirt. I'll just remember that there's some dirt underneath that area. Clean up that hole. Grab some sand while I'm over here so I can demonstrate. This works with red sand or normal sand, either one. So you can create sand by combining a water bucket with this cracked sand in a crafting grid, and there are some more efficient ways to do that. So to demonstrate the Clayconia, it just turns sand into clay balls. One sand to one clay ball. It's not a great conversion rate, but it is what it is. So we got quite a bit of crafting done. Lots of rewards. So let's drop off some of this stuff. And go check on those plants we planted. So they're not doing bad. Let's grab some essences from these. So most of these essences craft in a 4x4 pattern and generate something. Sometimes what they craft in that isn't the most useful thing. For example, these skeleton essence, if crafted like this, they'll make bones, which are useful for bone meal. The essence of ender I can't really show you, but if you craft them in a ring, they create ender pearls. So what else can we craft here? Let's see. I believe we can probably craft a work table. That's a book, a chest, and a crafting table, so that should be pretty simple. We just need 9 of these. We need one of these books and my hatchet. So 1 chest, a crafting table, and we just craft them together. We get ourselves a work table. Work tables are kind of a nice crafting table if you set up a recipe on them. They have storage. They will craft from the storage. They also remember the recipes that you've done recently, so you can easily program them with up to 9 recipes and then just switch between them very quickly, and just clicking on them recalls the recipe. Right-clicking locks the recipe, so it only remembers the last 9 you did. So if you have a recipe you don't want to get pushed out of here that you always want it to remember, just lock it, and then the locked recipe will never be pushed out. It's nice for things that you craft quite often. You can just drop the materials in the storage here, set up the recipes in it, and you're pretty much good to go from there. What else is available? Oh, and we'll claim that. That gives us a couple of saplings for trees we don't have. And I believe cypress is pretty good for growing good quantities of wood. I don't have a lot of room for these trees right now. Let's cut down a couple of trees so we got some space. And a lot of people believe that there's less chance of a sapling dropping if you break leaves by hand than by natural decay. I don't believe that's true. I think the likelihood of you getting a drop from leaves is pretty much the same either way. I believe the sakura tree is fairly large, so it's probably going to end up being a big tree and be a pain to cut down. It does have some pretty unique looking wood to it though, so from an aesthetic point of view it's not bad to keep around. I probably won't grow much of it, at least not yet, until I start building things and I want to make them look nice. So let's get the sakura planted and get the cypress planted. And the essence berries are growing in nicely. Touching these plants damages you, so something to keep in mind, that they're kind of like smacking into a cactus. And so a quick check on the plants we've been breeding. So the seeds we got were 111s. I didn't bother to check them because I knew that they were going to be 111s. So I planted them in the center of those crop sticks so that they could spread out and make some clones of themselves, which I will identify those clones because they are not necessarily 111 now. So obviously we've got some that are different. We got some minor upgrades to these guys, which is a start, but of course we're going to want to breed these up to 10, 10, 10 like all of our other plants. So that's probably what I'm going to work on next. And we breed these in the same way we bred all the other plants up. So we're simply going to get some cross crops down and then put the plants around the outside. And we're going to breed those into the center once they're full grown. Right now they're not quite ready for that. They need to be mature before you can use them for breeding purposes. So we're just going to let them grow up. And I think that's probably all the time we have today. We did not really do much new, but we did accomplish a large number of quests in the quest book. We are now up to 75 completed quests. We're doing pretty good. We will probably look into some automation of, well, semi-automation of the creation of some of the materials we have available to us now, we'll probably look into magical foods. So if I were to run around and collect some of the materials from these foods here, all of the berries and things like cucumber and not that, and then craft those together. So there are 9 of these plants. I bred all 9 of them to make sure that I could craft this magical food. As you see, it refills 6 hunger. It also gives you regeneration for a short period, so it is probably one of the best foods you have access to in the game. You can gain access to it pretty early, and it doesn't cost a lot to make. I mean, it's simply having 9 fields for these plants. It also potentially can be a good source of mana once you have the capability to craft the Uuuummms, which converts food into mana, similar to how these guys convert burnables into mana. This magical food causes the Uuuummms to generate a tremendous amount of mana. And again, it's very easy to craft, and once we get the ability to automate harvesting of our farms, it'll be very easy to automate that as well. So next time, as I said, we're going to look into making it easier to do some of these conversions, things like making the magical food, or things like making mutandis, or even bone meal from those crops. So until next time, everyone, have a good one.